All right, welcome to the Fantasy Football MBAs. That stands for matchups, breakdowns, and analysis. We are in week 4. This week to me is like a make it or break it week for a lot of players. I could see a whole lot of trade offerings being after this week. And we're going to go through the schedule here. We'll do like last week. We'll break it up into 2 parts. We'll start with the first half of the games, and then we'll hit y'all with a part 2 with the second half of the games. So let's go ahead and get started, man. So first we got the Bears going up against the Colts. This game here, to me, I think the big question is with Nick Foles starting for the Bears, does that open things up for them a little more? I definitely think that elevates a lot of the pass catchers. Allen Robinson, to me, was already an every week start. Jimmy Graham, you don't like it. You feel a little dirty about it. But at the same time, Jimmy Graham actually leads the league in end zone targets. So there's a chance he gets into the end zone. I'm not mad at the pick. If you're desperate for tight end, I'm not mad at Jimmy Graham. David Montgomery, he gets to start for me as well. And I'm a stray away from Anthony Miller. I'm not ready to start him yet, even though he came off a pretty good game against the Falcons. But everybody has a pretty good game against the Falcons. So
absolutely.
Yeah. On the Colts side, I think the guy that everybody has a question about is T.Y. Hilton. And we said it before at the beginning of this episode, it's a make it or break it week. T.Y. Hilton is definitely a make it or break it week for him. There's no competition out there for targets other than maybe Nyheim Hines, who they may incorporate in just because they need help in the passing game. But I feel like I got to start T.Y. this week. So that's how I feel on that one. What do y'all guys think about this game here?
I need Anthony.
T.Y. has
You need what?
Oh, so you believe in Miller, man, huh? It's Miller time.
I have to. I have, unfortunately, in one of my leagues, I ain't got no choice. I got Godwin out. Also got Mike Thomas out again. So I got to roll with him in one of my leagues. So I'm praying to the fantasy guys because injuries are killing me in this one league, and I don't really have anywhere else to turn. So I'm hoping with Foles in there, he can catch 4 or 5 passes, even if he gives me 60, 70 yards and no touchdown.
Right.
I'm desperate for wide receivers right now.
I feel you. I think he could get that for you. I think he could get 60 yards, 5 catches, hopefully get into the end zone. So we'll see.
Yeah, I definitely see more continuation of Jimmy Graham in the game. You with T.Y., man, your question about T.Y., if he doesn't show, I need at least a pedestrian showing, because he's been bad,
right?
So I need at least 70 yards and a touchdown, just show up on the stat line. He's literally been a non-factor, riding the coattails of his fantasy past, and I don't know what it is. I mean, it's not like back, I don't understand where the disconnect is, but I do know if you are a T.Y. owner, it's getting bad.
It's getting bad.
It's bad.
It's gotten bad.
It's bad. Yeah.
All right. Well, moving on, we got the Jaguars and the Cincinnati Bengals. I love this game for fantasy football. I think everybody here, you could pretty much start anybody in this game. If DJ Shark is playing, then I believe that Gardner Minshew can redeem himself. After we gave him so much praise last week, I even started him in a league and
started all 3 big 3 out of Jackson. Yeah.
He was trash. So I think he gets back on it. I mean, it's the Cincinnati Bengals. Everybody has a good game against them. So, of course, I said that with Miami too the previous week.
Right.
So I like everybody. Going back to make it or break it weeks, Joe Mixon. Listen, man, if he can't do it against the Jaguars, like
Never gonna
I might
happen.
have, yeah, man. Like I feel like a sucker because I had him last year in the league, and he was trash at the beginning of the league, and then I benched him, and then he went off at the end of the season, and it looks like deja vu. So
All over again.
yeah, man. Hopefully he can get it going. And James Robinson, old school James Robinson, is a must start.
Yeah,
Yes,
absolutely.
every week starter, every week partner in spades. So that's for you, man. You know, it's funny we are painting this narrative of James Robinson being this old school guy.
Right.
He's probably doing TikTok videos and,
Right.
and eating Tide Pods and whatnot.
Taking the one chip challenge.
I
You'd be no more millennial than anyone.
Exactly. Oh man, but any of y'all got any thoughts on this game here?
Yeah, I mean, it I don't. I'm like we said about Ty Joe Mixon again, man. I think this past week 3, he was highly traded as well in fantasy.
Yep.
Whereas people were trying to offload him, just like abandoning the ship, selling high.
Yeah.
Because after this week, if he doesn't show up again, you're stuck with him.
You're stuck with him. Exactly.
That's your guy.
Yep.
That's your guy now.
At least the previous weeks, people are still like, all right, I can buy low on Joe Mixon.
Right.
But
yeah, you want to be able to. It has to be a package deal at this point now.
Yep.
Like you can't trade them straight up.
No.
You can't even trade them straight up no more now.
Yeah, man. Moving on to the Cowboys and the Cleveland Browns. So we know we're starting our Cowboys here, right? So I guess the big question is on the Cleveland side. Do you trust Odell Beckham Jr.? Well, I gotta say yes. I gotta say
there's been a.
Is that what?
I said there's been a sighting this week at least of this past week of Odell looking like himself.
Yeah.
This Cowboys defense, man. Going into the year, I rated them, as one to look out for. Maybe even a stash for, a burgeoning on the back half of the year, and it hasn't been there. Offensively, they've been able to do some stuff, but Odell should get his against this defense, man.
Absolutely.
I totally agree with you. I think he's going to have a nice game against them. I think they're going to lose, but I think he's going to
lose. Yeah.
Well, I mean, wide receivers are averaging, over 14 fantasy points against the Cowboys defense so far this year. And yeah, so I can't imagine, him not being able to get to that.
Yep. So if you can't start him here, when are you going to start him? You know what I mean? It's crazy that we're still having that conversation with Odell.
But I do have a question. I brought it up, but so Austin is like, is there anyone that believes it was just him getting used to, Baker first couple of weeks, or is this just not going to work in Cleveland? With Austin Hooper.
Nah, I think Austin Hooper benefited from Dirk Cutter loves using the tight ends, even though I can't tell with Hurts. Yeah. But usually he does. So I think that he really benefited from that, and I think he got paid, and I think he's a bust. And so he's going to go off this week, so pretty much.
Right. So what that means is he's going to go off.
Yeah. Also, another player who I like is Dalton Schultz for the Cowboys. If you are desperate, I don't want to say desperate, but if you need help at tight end, he's someone who I would start. CJ Uzama, he went off against Cleveland, and then he got hurt, and then some dude named Drew Sample came in, and he balled out against Cleveland. So they look like they're really giving it up to the tight end. So I think Dalton Schultz is a good look this week.
Yeah. And most people should need some help at tight end because there's only like 4 good ones. I swear.
The other ones you kind of rotating around.
Right. I swear. They're like kickers at this point, man.
With that Tennessee game being postponed, that's another one you're gonna lose.
That too. If you don't got Jonnu Smith going, then Dalton Schultz, he's still available in a lot of leagues. So I was able to just kind of pick him up even after the waiver wire. So
yes, you were.
Moving on to the next game, we got the Cardinals against the Carolina Panthers, and we got yet another person in the theme here in Kenyon Drake. I mean, we've seen the Panthers, they're giving it up to everybody. You know,
they belong to the streets.
They belong to the streets. Right? So if you can't start him here, you can't start him anywhere. It's kind of like the same thing as Joe Mixon. It's like, although I feel better about Kenyon Drake than I do Joe Mixon. And I just feel like it's going to come along at some point, and this has to be the game.
Is it?
It has to be the game. This has got to be the game. Also, who I like in this game, who falls in again in that same category, is DJ Moore. I'm going to roll with DJ Moore in this game. DJ Moore is actually, 15th in the league in receiving yards. He just hasn't gotten a touchdown yet.
Right.
Bobby Anderson, he's really been eaten. I think he will, draw the Patrick Peterson coverage there. And I think that will leave, more vulnerable cornerback on DJ Moore. And I think he'll get some opportunity there. A lot of people are sleeping on Teddy. Teddy is actually doing all right. He's 7th in the league in passing yards. They just got to get more touchdowns over there.
Crazy question.
What's up?
Do the Panthers have a system that you can just plug right in and it just keeps rolling? You got a new quarterback, a backup running back, and production just seems to keep moving. Oh,
yeah.
Listen, I'm not crazy, right? No, there's only one McCaffrey in the league. I call it 2 if you want to throw in Kamara,
right.
But I mean, like from a fantasy standpoint, though, like you're not missing a lot. You're not missing a lot.
Yeah, Mike Davis is doing all right.
Somebody offered me a trade for him, actually, and I was like, nah, this guy's not going to do anything. And then they kind of just plug and play. So I'm feeling kind of stupid after turning that down because it was for somebody that wasn't – I can't even remember who the person was trading me for, but I just looked. I saw his name. I was like, nah, not going to do it. And then he goes out, and they plug him right in, and he picks up right there.
The thing that I am concerned, because I was able to get Davis. The thing I am concerned about is durability. I mean, obviously, if you're going to plug somebody into McCaffrey's role, you're talking about somebody that potentially get almost 100 catches a year. So that doesn't come easy, And if you're not used to that level, that volume of work, you're going to run into the wall at some point. If you think back to what's my man in Pittsburgh? James Conner. When he first got his chance, as the starter, it's like, oh, he's game busters for like the first 2 or 3 games, and then he got hurt.
Right.
It's like, oh crap, like it's like sometimes you got to have somebody that's proven to show that for that level of work.
Yeah, that's true. But McCaffrey, he'll be back. He might be back too soon, and then you may have another issue there. Running back by committee. So
I don't think so. If he comes back 80%, it's still gonna be the McCaffrey show.
It will be, yeah. You might not get 100% though, but 80% is still good.
This is pretty good.
Yeah, but EJ, what you got, man?
So first game, I got Giants and Rams. So I'll just start on the Giants side. I'm not touching anybody on that football team this week. Their backfield is a mess, which may even be an understatement, but I'm still going to kind of watch it. I just want to see who ends up getting the majority of the touches. just, maybe for somewhere, down the season if I ever need to plug somebody in.
Right.
But as for the other side of the ball, I mean, I'm playing pretty much everybody on the Rams side.
Yep.
Not the biggest Goff fan, but he's been playing pretty well this year. So
Mhm.
I play him, Woods, Cup, and I like the way Henderson has been playing lately, especially because Malcolm Brown hasn't really seemed to take control, or he hasn't really done much with his carries.
Mhm.
So I really like Henderson going forward. And then that other guy that they were working in, Akers, I think is hurt.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think Henderson is going to get, a lot of work. So I really like him this week to do really well. I mean,
Mhm.
the Giants are just a mess right now. So
Yeah.
I like everybody pretty much on the Rams right
Me
Mhm.
too, including the Rams defense. So I'm
Mhm.
definitely starting the Giants are second to only the Jets in offensive futility. So
Yes.
and the Rams defense has been okay. They're getting the sacks. Aaron Donald is going to have a game.
Mhm.
Daniel Jones is going to have, I think, at least 3 turnovers in this game.
Mm.
So
Yeah, they're gonna be down, and they don't have anything going at running back um they brought in Devontae Freeman. They're likely looking to work him in more into the offense this week. Um, whatever that
that means
um
nothing. It means
you
nothing.
know it just means nothing. But yeah, man, yeah, it's again to your point. You're looking at the Jets and the G-men as literally worst is in football.
Yep.
It's not even close.
Yep. All right.
now. All right, moving on. Next games, we got New England and Kansas City. I think this is actually going to be an interesting game. I think it's a potential where Kansas City might slip up, but I still think they're going to do numbers. But as far as like New England goes, I'm not really sure like what's going to happen on their offense this week. And I can't believe I'm about to say this, but I like Rex Burkhead. This,
You
don't
like
think
a Patriots running back? Okay.
don't think I have ever said that or have ever felt that way, but I think this is one of those games where he's going to do well. I watched the Raiders game last week, and Sony Michel killed my Raiders, and I don't think he's going to have that same kind of game against Kansas City. I think they're a little bit better, but I think somebody like Burkhead, who can catch the ball and who they use in the passing game, I think he's going to have a pretty good game. And as far as Cam Newton goes, I would play him this week. I wouldn't be discouraged. He didn't pass that well against the Raiders, but it was only because they ran all over our team last week. So I think he's going to do a good job this week. And I think he's going to have to throw to keep pace with Mahomes. I mean, the way they score, that's really your only shot. So I like Cam Newton this week. And then on the other side of the ball, I think Kansas City is going to continue to do their thing. Don't think they'll be as successful as they were against Baltimore. But I like everybody on their offense with the exception of McCall Hardman because he kind of needs big plays, to really hit
And
for
the
you.
Patriots will really give up big plays.
Yeah, I just don't envision them letting that happen. And I do like Sammy Watkins, though, going forward. He looked pretty good last week. I think he got about 7 or 8 targets. And as long as he can stay healthy, which, he's had some issues with, I think he'll continue to be solid for you for the rest of the year if you have him on your team.
It'll be interesting to see what the Patriots' strategy is. I'm still a little scared of Sammy Watkins because what I feel like the Patriots, what they might do is that they might put Gilmore on Watkins and then they may try to bracket Tyreek Hill because the truth is that Gilmore will not be able to keep up with Tyreek Hill. So to me, I could see that being the strategy for them. And if that is, then it might be tough sledding for Sammy Watkins, or they might try something even with Kelsey, but I don't know if it'll work.
On this show last week, I think I had it in reverse. I was down on Hartman and thumbs up on Watkins. Um, I've never liked Sammy Watkins in the NFL. I never have. I never thought he lived up to the billing. Um, he to me, he and uh, the big dude that Carolina draft. I can't think of his name. Kevin Benjamin.
Oh,
They to me they were like the same big guys. They just couldn't. It just didn't translate well. Sammy Watkins should have been a perennial Pro Bowl at this point. He I don't trust that man. But especially now, maybe on some kind of weird matchup. But I like your thought there. What Belichick might do on defense. Um, Mecole Hardman has more speed at this point to potentially, get open. But man, I I gotta disagree with you. E. I think this will be a very frustrating game for Cam Newton. I just look at what the game plan they had against Lamar Jackson, and no offense to Cam, he's an ATL homeboy, but Jackson is a way better quarterback in every facet of the game, and they made him. I think Jackson is a better quarterback than Cam Newton at this point. Absolutely.
I don't think so.
So you would take Jackson over, you would take Cam over Jackson.
Lamar Jackson still can't get the ball to his wide receiver.
He's a better runner, but
would you take Cam over Jackson?
No, I would not. I would not take Cam over Jackson. But you said in every aspect of the game, and I believe that there are certain aspects that Cam Newton is better.
Right now, I wouldn't. I do not like Cam Newton going against Kansas City after I saw what they did against Jackson. But Kansas City may just have Jackson's number. Sometimes there are certain teams that, in sports, there are certain guys, that just have guys' number. Michael Moore had Evander Holyfield's number. Like, you just couldn't. It's just like no matter how trash they are with everybody else, they're gonna beat you.
Yeah.
So perhaps maybe Jackson is in his head against Kansas City. But to me, Cam is kind of like what Jackson will be later in his career. They kind of have a similar game. I like Cam's long ball better. At least it used to be, but there's nobody in Foxborough that can go stretch the field right now.
Right.
So I think he'll struggle.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, I mean, I think he'll have an all right game. I think there's some better options. I would start Ryan Fitzpatrick over him, over Cam Newton this week, But and there's a couple other players who I think I would start over him. But for the most part, I think he's still a decent play though.
Yeah.
Perfect. Well, now next we got Buffalo and Oakland. And again, my Raiders got another tough game. I think Buffalo is going to just continue to roll and do what they've been doing. Really like Allen this week. I like Cole Beasley also. He always seems to pop up in and out of fantasy every year. And I think he has just his little niche. He's like a very poor man's version of, I think, what Edelman used to
be. He's like Wes Welker.
Very poor, but I agree though.
So I think you can use him too. Stephon Diggs, of course. And finally, my guy Singletary, I like where things are going for him. Moss is banged up. And if Rex Burkhead can do to the Raiders what he did last week, there's no reason Singletary, who's a much better football player, can't have the same success. Singletary last week had 50 receiving yards and 70 rushing yards. So I expect him to do much of the same and probably even score a touchdown or two. As long as Josh Allen doesn't steal, a touchdown close to the end zone.
True.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, as far as the other side of the ball, Raiders, Darren Waller, think you have to play him, even though he's a little hobbled. His knee was looking kind of funny last week. So I'm just hoping that, he recovers. I have him in both leagues that I'm in, so I really need him to be healthy. And then, of course, I think you play, Josh Jacobs, stick with him. Don't try anything, funny with him. And I would actually play Hunter Renfrow this week.
Yep.
A couple of the Raiders receivers are hurt, so I just think that, bodes well for him. And I think you could even get away with Derek Carr again. He actually played pretty well against New England. He threw for 260 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks. So if you, kind of desperate for a quarterback, I think you could go with him because the Bills can be scored on.
For sure.
Yeah, those are my thoughts. What do you guys think?
I agree with you 100% on that one. I definitely think I like Hunter Renfrow in this game. I don't, as you said, the Bills have been surprisingly vulnerable in the passing game this season, especially at the slot wide receiver. So I think he'll definitely, and especially with Waller kind of banged up too, I could see Hunter Renfrow being a very sneaky pick this week. And I'm actually thinking about starting him against my man T. Campbell in one of the leagues that we're in. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I to me the best game from an eyeball standpoint for Carr has been against the Saints, or I would say the Vadas' best game to me was against the Saints. They looked like they were, that they could handle. Well, at the time was what I thought was one of the best teams in the NFC in the Saints, but that made that I'm fading against the Saints. And we'll talk about that a little later too. But I think Carr be fine. If he has a game like he had against the Saints, I think he'll be fine. Yep. And I guess that kind of goes in line with your man Jacobs as well. If you got the running game going, it opens up the pass.
Yeah, hopefully things open up more for Jacobs. He hasn't been that efficient this year so far. It's like if he doesn't score a touchdown, he's not really getting you a good game. But hopefully, especially, I know he's banged up himself, but I think they try to get him going in this game. So
what you doing, man? You setting the mood over there, brother?
I know, man. Yo, I was using the natural sunlight, man, and it was good for a moment, man. But it's getting dark.
You about to give some dark predictions.
I know, man. It's getting dark over here, man. But yeah, man. So I think that wraps up part 1 of our week 4 starts. We'll get into make sure to stay tuned for part 2 of the week 4 starts. And in the meantime, make sure to like and subscribe. Make sure to follow us on social media. We are on Instagram and Twitter at the Fantasy Football MBAs. Any of y'all got any parting words?
Nah, man. Just I don't like Sammy Watkins.
I feel you on that. All right. Well, until next time, stay tuned for part 2 of the week 4 start sits. So until then, peace.
Peace.